Hello, my name is Maher El Tabchy. I'm the founder of Tabchilli, UAE's first fermented food store based in Dubai. Thank you for SoulCast for coming and telling my story. We are a shop based in Dubai, but our mission is much bigger. Our mission is to nourish your food, body, and mind with the power of fermented foods. Fermented food is not something new, it's been there for a long time, but I feel it's my mission to bring it back to everybody's household. Because eventually everything we're eating is pasteurized, is dead junk, chronic disease is on the rise, and I felt Tabchilli has a bigger path forward, and for me it's a movement. We can start with fermentation, but I see definitely a big movement coming forward. So my mission as Tabchilli has always been about gut health. Okay, gut health is all about bringing real food to your gut because what you eat really impacts your mood, your immunity, everything around you. In the family, there was some cases which required to eat healthier. And I felt, I can do that at a small scale. What if I can help more people at a larger scale? And when I saw the movement of why people are asking for fermented foods is when they are hitting a wall with their health or they want to feel healthier. When you eat fermented foods, you're incorporating probiotics, you eat healthier, you walk healthier, and you age better. And for me, my mission has always been now to bring real food across every single household across the UAE and GCC. Starting with a movement by bringing education and knowledge of what does that impact cause for you and everybody around you. Fermented food is sour and you have different flavor profile, but all you need is 1 to 3 servings a day to really impact your gut positively. So imagine what does 1 to 3 servings can mean for a restaurant. You can use kefir, a kombucha, a water kefir, different kind of yogurt, a hot sauce fermented, a pickles fermented, a garnish fermented. Many different things can go into the menu if engineered in the right way to give a health benefit. So I think, you don't need a fermented food menu. You just need to think about how you can add something unpasteurized and full of flavor in your menu. Just 1 to 3 servings is enough to change everybody's gut. There are a few specific restaurants who are using fermented foods or fermentation because these are flavors. Think of soy sauce, kimchi, sauerkraut, hot sauces, different misos. They make their own thing. But eventually you have to understand that they are playing with flavors. I would like more restaurants to work with gut health. They don't want to serve only a plate. Serve health on a plate. Think of what fermented foods can bring for that. I know the few restaurants who are playing with that, but I think compared to the UAE culinary scene and diabetes being on the rise, I think the 12,000 restaurants plus you have here in the UAE should all put fermented foods on their staple food. For fermented foods and fermentation, the different angles. So one, definitely the health aspect from it, but the other one is the waste. Waste to taste, I call, or trash to cash, which is one consultation I do to many restaurants. And many restaurants, even Michelin star chefs, I have supported them as well on their journey for their restaurants to change some flavors. Fermented foods can be done from different ways, and many restaurants do incorporate for the flavor journey because fermentation is a story. You're telling about how time changed something to give you those flavors, and that's beautiful. But eventually, I think fermented foods should go into the 95% of the food chain where everybody eats, because this is where the real impact happens. This is where I think the lack of awareness of what fermented foods can bring to the table is lacking. The Michelin star chefs know how to take something to a different level from an experience perspective. But when it comes to comfort food, daily eating, this is where I think the impact should be coming. Everybody talks about now longevity, biohacking, and all those preventive things. I think it's just eating healthy and being healthy. So for me, Tabchilli's movement is just replacing dead junk, pasteurized food that's not adding any value for you or your family, for your health, and just starting that movement. People thinking how 2 ingredients label like sauerkraut, cabbage, and salt can beat anything else. So for me, I want people to start looking at the label for real food and eating healthier, and that's the best thing I can ask for Tabchilli. When it comes to fermentation, my business has been a failure for the past 2 years because there's no school to teach you how to ferment. There's no recipe. You're playing with time and bacteria you cannot control. It's all about failing consistently. For 2 years, I've been failing with tons of batches for me to get the flavor right, understanding how temperature, how humidity, how bacteria flourish in specific times. And since you're waiting for 3 weeks to get the flavor of sauerkraut, imagine the time frame for failure. So for me, my business has been building on failure after failure because every failure is 0.1% of improvement. It was compounding until I got where I want in flavor. So I'm very happy to fail in fermenting, and everybody who wants to start to ferment, you're gonna fail and you're gonna get it right eventually. There are 2 things which I consider the most rewarding when it comes to Tabchilli. Number 1 was time. Time plays a big role in fermentation. When you wait 3 months to ferment my hot sauce, you are rewarded with flavors you cannot make instantly. When you wait 3 weeks to make sauerkraut, you are also rewarded for time. Why I take the pleasure of waiting 3 weeks to make a product where I can flip a burger in 1 hour. because time gives flavors which reward me in the end, and also good health benefits. When I told my mom I'm quitting my day job to come teach people how to ferment, she's like, "Ya ibni," like, my son, what are you doing teaching people how to put vinegar in food? But it's different than that. When you use vinegar, you always get one sour flavor. That's why all pickles taste great across the world, great on a burger. But vinegar is sterile, it gives all the probiotics. By using only salt, a minimum amount of salt, you're able to launch the bacterial process to ferment stuff, but also enable probiotics to thrive. Vinegar kills everything, whereas fermenting enhances the bioavailability of nutrients and makes it healthier for you. For me, pickling, one flavor, fermenting, long process, a plethora of flavors, but also healthy for you. For me, I'm somebody who has 1,000 ideas and I lose focus very quickly. So I thought if I give it my family name, I would go the extra mile. But on a personal level, I was fermenting since 20 years ago. My first ferment was a chili sauce. So I called it Tabchilli. I used to name them on small labels. But when I chose to open this shop, I wanted to go all in. And for me, go all in is just put my family name and just move forward really behind it. Personally, I think Tabchilli is my North Star, because eventually that's where I want to move forward. I don't want to be in a 9-to-5 job. I want to have purpose, and Tabchilli gives me purpose. The fridge is 100 years old. People were not eating from the fridge before that. We were eating healthier, living better. There was no chronic disease, no diabetes on the rise, so everything was different. Yes, today is coming back to the roots because we want real food. Everything you're buying now is artificial flavors, pasteurized, dead junk, and you know how it is. So I thought my purpose is to bring back real food like the way we used to consume it, because traditions are something very important, but most importantly, they bring also health benefits. So my purpose was to bring something back to the roots, because from the roots is where we grow. The biggest struggle I ever had was awareness. Now people are talking about gut health, microbiome, but when I opened, nobody was knocking on my door. Now people are actually seeking for it. So for me, awareness and education is the biggest blocker to really expand the category and have that knowledge of why fermented foods are good for you. That's why I'm doing these workshops every single week. If I have a message for my son or for me as a kid, just be ruthless what you want. Chase it, go hard, don't stop. You're gonna break the walls, you're gonna get what you need. Worst case scenario, you already progressed. There is kimchi and there is tabchilli. Kimchi is a staple whole ferment. Tabchilli is a movement bringing those fermented foods towards your household. I want Tabchilli to be known as gut health in every single ferment delivered to your doorstep, anytime, anywhere.